Hey everyone, and welcome to From Waterloo to the Alamo. I'm your host, Traci Wilson, and today we have Sharon Reddehase. She's the Executive Director of Patriots Hall. Sharon, I'm so glad to have you here, and I'm excited to learn more about Patriots Hall. I feel like being born and raised in Austin, right, and knowing all the surrounding areas, this is something that I was not too familiar with. And what an incredible program and an incredible place that you guys have. So let's first talk about your personal journey and leadership, right? What's kind of led you to the role you're in now. What do you think inspired you? Well, first of all, to work at Patriots Hall, but also to step in the position as executive director.
Yeah. First of all, thank you for having me.
Of course,
It's always exciting to share more about what we're doing.
Yeah.
So I've been in Austin for over 25 years. I always laugh. I went to university here, left for 2 years and couldn't resist and came back. But I would say there's a couple things that really inspired me. One, my father was in the military, and so I have a lot of feelings about it. It was my upbringing until I was in middle school. So that has a very strong tie for me, and I can talk about that a little bit more about why Patriots Hall. Throughout my entire career, what also inspired me is where the organization was when I started in January. Just opening up the doors, one full-time employee, trying to figure out what does our programming look like. And that is what I've been doing most of my career, is coming in and helping start and grow businesses or organizations. And so bringing all of that experience to the table and being able to offer my talents to help the organization was just perfect.
A perfect fit.
Yeah. And I would say my other inspiration is just that I have been blessed throughout my career to work for some amazing folks that were mentors and philanthropists.
Yeah.
Tom and Lynn Meredith, Cookie Ruiz with Ballet Austin.
Oh, yes.
Dan and Lisa Graham with Notley.
Yeah.
And they really have been kind of gave me all the tools in the tool chest to understand what philanthropy looks like. And so being able to come into this organization and be able to bring all of that just was so perfect.
It was perfect. It's almost like your passion met your expertise.
Exactly.
And that's I feel like that's so rare these days. And that's very cool. I mean, your background really is tied hand in hand with this, especially being so familiar and growing up around, military family and how that adjusts, and you understand the hardships of what that can look like on not just the family, but of course on the person that's serving in the military. And so your dad he's retired, right? He's retired Air Force lieutenant, correct?
Lieutenant Colonel, yeah.
Yes, Lieutenant Colonel. Okay, yes.
Yeah.
So what was it like watching him? I mean, what about his role as a colonel, right? A lieutenant colonel really, I would say, shaped you for this veteran service? Because I know you said growing up around it, but what specifically with him?
Yeah. I would say watching and experiencing the process of leaving the military, because usually when you leave the military, you're not done working.
Yeah.
You can't, you have to keep working.
Yeah.
So he retired in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But trying to find a job was not easy for him. The market was terrible, and here's this great experienced person we're so used to having, other than moving, which is somewhat disruptive, to be able to try to find a job. And he was so, I think, surprised by it. And our whole family went through a really rough time for several years. My mom had to step up, try to find a job. She was working a job that was not consistent with her background, and we were all struggling to make ends meet. There was so much stress in the family. It really kind of tore the family apart for several years until we kind of got into a groove, but we also didn't have our community anymore. And growing up in the military, wherever you move, there's an instant community of
and
people
family.
who bring you in from day one, and that is just, it's a lifeline, especially for the family.
Yeah.
And so to go through that firsthand and know, like, look at this Patriots Hall. Like, if we would have had that,
It would have been awesome.
it would have been a place for us to go and help, kind of learn from everyone else and be with our people and our tribe.
Right.
So, I think that's really why this is so personal to me.
Yeah. Well, and it's, I don't know why it's so interesting to me that people, like Air Force, would have a hard time finding a job, because to me, they are the most committed, regimented, like workhorses. I feel like being in the military, it's not easy. You have to follow a schedule. You have to have structure. You have to be, do certain things. To me, that would make an incredible employee. You listen to the commands. You listen to commands. Like literally your boss tells you something to do and you need to do it to keep your job. And to me, I really, really have a hard time struggling with that. Like, why are they some of the people, retired veterans or this or that? I get it. It could be age. It could be trauma from whatever they've experienced. But still, like a retired Air Force lieutenant colonel having a hard time finding a job. Are you kidding me? He should be somewhere super high up. So anyway, but that's awesome. That's really cool to see that this place really is going to be helping people.
Yeah.
So we've kind of dabbled in the mission and purpose, but let's really give people a full idea of what Patriots Hall's mission and purpose is. I know it's a unique 10-acre retreat and resource center, and it's absolutely stunning from what I've seen, and even had heard about when we had another guest here on the podcast. They donated a playscape. Yes. But why don't you describe the mission of Patriots Hall and the kind of experiences that you're going to aim to provide for these veterans?
Yeah. So Patriots Hall, as you said, it's really we think of it as a retreat. I think of it as home.
Right.
A home, a place that you feel welcome, and a resource hub to really where we can help all military and veterans and their families connect, grow, and thrive. And what we mean by that is, one, there are over, I don't know if you know this, but there's over 70,000 veterans in the Central Texas area. So there's nothing like this where we can bring them in. And if we don't have it, we can point them in the right direction. But a lot of what we focus on is based on surveys that we did for the better part of 4 years while we were building the building to find out what the biggest needs were. And there's really 3 pillars. One is wellness. And wellness can be a lot of different things for people. Right. There's traditional therapy, which we offer. There's skill building, art classes, just getting out of your head. Fly fishing classes, all kinds of things like that. We have physical wellness classes that we offer and workshops. We have transition to help with that career transition. Right. We have a lot of services there, and we have resource fairs and things that we do to help people through that process. And then the third pillar is really the one that's the hardest to really quantify, but when you see it and you know it, which is the social belonging piece. Right. Those are just social settings, whether they're larger events where we have First Friday of every month, we do a social. Yeah. Bingo, trivia night, all kinds of things. But just people are meeting other people. They're finding they connect with their people. They have common shared experiences. And it's magical when you see it happen. It's really great. And then we have small groups, like we have a women's veterans group that gets together once a month, and they found their sub-tribe, if you will. And it's a really awesome group. So those are the connections, I think. Those are kind of the main areas that we offer. And like I said, if we don't offer it, we're connected with all the other veteran organizations. Right. And we can point them in the right direction. That's so important, because especially if they're not familiar with the area or this or that, it's hard to find that, and find people who have experienced what you've experienced. Because I can say, oh, wow, tell me what that's like, but I have no idea what that would be like, moving from town to town, city to city, making new friends. You know what I mean? Dealing with tons of different, it's very hard to relate unless you've been through it. How do you balance honoring, veterans' stories and what they've been through with creating programs that can meet their, evolving needs? Yeah. I would say that's probably one of our biggest challenges. Yeah. Because we can't do everything. Right. Right? So I would say, in one word, we listen. We're always listening. Right. Because you brought up a very good point, which is, I grew up in a family where my dad served, I didn't serve. And so always being close to the veterans and listening and learning from them, their needs are always changing. Right. And so listening and then applying what I bring from the startup world, right, which is, hey, let's low risk test these things. Let's listen. Let's see if it works. And then we just reiterate, we refine. And some things may go to the parking lot for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then we bring them back.
Right.
But just bringing that acumen of how startups are efficiently run and how you test different ideas is working really well for us. And then we just keep listening. We just formed a veterans council that's a group of about 15 veterans that just represent the whole cross section of the veteran population. And I think of them as an ongoing focus group.
Right.
So we're tapping that group from time to time with new ideas, but also listening, like, what are you seeing in your communities?
Right.
And what do we need to know so that we can consistently make sure we're on top of being able to serve the needs.
Serve the needs. I love that. Well, and I feel like you guys picked a really great location in Dripping Springs because it is a very, very tight knit, I feel like setting, you know, because Dripping is always, I mean, growing up, Dripping was like, well, that's the country. And now, of course, Dripping has evolved and becomes just such, I mean, has grown and developed, and it's kind of crazy. But what does the community support from Dripping Springs look like for Patriots Hall?
Oh my gosh.
Amazing.
Yes.
I can tell by your reaction.
Yeah. It's amazing. We are so blessed to be part of this community. One, I would say the first and foremost from where I see it is just volunteers.
Yeah.
Veterans, we have tons of veteran volunteers because it's in your DNA to serve others. But we have so many volunteers that are not veterans that just want to help and help support our veteran community. The Chamber of Commerce. Yeah. Hayes County, a shout out to Walt Smith and Jude Prather. They have been amazing partners of ours. They have gotten a resource that comes to our site every week to help with VA benefits.
Oh, that's awesome.
And navigating through that, which is probably our most popular service that we offer veterans. Yeah. They have also, we worked with them to we have 3 structures on our property. One of them is a meeting hall for the VFW and American Legion. And we've worked with them to make that a voting site, which anyone that wants to vote in Dripping, it's open next week, early voting.
Yeah.
But in exchange, so we're working with them to have a partnership that allows us to open up that meeting hall for them. And in exchange, they gave us a grant towards helping us build our building.
Oh, that's
so
awesome.
It's those kinds of wonderful relationships. We have partnerships with Dripping Springs Art League to bring in art classes for our veterans. I mean, I could go on and on. There's so many people in our community, and I know I'm missing someone. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it just everyone, and every Tuesday morning, for anyone that watches the podcast that's a veteran or active military, please come join us from 9 to 10:30. We serve breakfast tacos.
Awesome.
And we have different businesses from all around Dripping that come out and sponsor that every week.
Oh, that's so great.
So not only coming to just bring the tacos, or we've had some people actually cook them in our kitchen because we have a full commercial kitchen. If anyone's brave enough and wants to cook 70 tacos, come on in. We'd love to have you. But it's just that kind of coming together that's just so special. And you mentioned Blue Horse Building and Design.
Yeah.
I mean, that's community support.
Oh,
they're celebrating their 20th anniversary, and they're giving us the gift of designing and building this amazing playscape.
Yeah, which is, to me, so cool because, you mean, when you think of a veterans hall with, like, families and this, you think of veterans as, I hate to say it, a little bit older, right? But their grandkids, like, their grandkids want to come learn more about what grandpa or grandma did. I mean, to me, I think it's so beautiful because, you know, I feel like a playscape is just if it has a playscape, you're like, thank you.
Yeah,
small kids.
And it's modeled somewhat after an obstacle course, so there's a theme there.
There is a theme. I love it.
Hello, my name is Macias Braganza, General Sales Manager at Mack Hike Ford Lincoln, your #1 Ford dealer in Central Texas. We are here for all your automotive needs: Ford, Lincoln, pre-owns, all year makes and model. If we don't have it, we'll find it. You won't find anybody that will work as hard as I will to earn your business. Thank you for making us #1 in Austin, Texas.
Hey, I'm Brandon Sparks with Nautilus Lending, based right here in Central Texas. We're a full-service mortgage operation and brokerage, serving Greater Texas as well as Florida and Tennessee. One of the greatest things about our shop is our ability to facilitate creative financing. What that means is that anything legally possible, we can get it funded. You want to find out more? Reach out to us, www.nautilus.com. nautiluslending.com. That's www.nautiluslending.com.
Okay, so let's talk about a little more about the partnerships, because we've talked about your tight-knit community. But how do you foster strategic partnerships with Veterans Hall?
Well, you brought up a great topic, because it really is like how we're able to do what we do.
Right.
Without the partnerships, we wouldn't be able to offer many of the services that we have. So, and it's a great, if I put my business hat on, it's a great business model, because it's a win-win. The partners, they want to extend their services into our area.
Right.
We have the physical footprint.
Right.
So it's a really kind of a symbiotic relationship. We have most of what we offer today is through a partnership.
Yeah.
With somebody.
With
because
someone.
we also,
and it goes from local governments to
all the way.
All of them.
Yeah, and I can shout out a few that we have really deep relationships with. The Texas Veterans Commission, Samaritan Center, huge shout out for all of our mental health support. Austin Vet Center. I mentioned Dripping Springs Art League. I mean, the list goes on, but they have been just amazing partners and allowed us to offer so much. Combined Arms is another organization we work with, but they're amazing. They also, the other thing that I bring from my learning of working in philanthropy for so long is we don't need to build it ourselves.
Right.
We don't need to reinvent the wheel. There are amazing organizations out there, and why should we do that if there's somebody else that's out there that can already do it?
Yeah,
and what the benefit for us is we have 2 full-time people, 4 part-time people.
Yeah.
And we put on, I think, 135 different events and programs so far this year.
Oh, wow.
That would
So you're
not be
even done
possible
yet.
with that staff.
That's incredible.
Without these partnerships.
Without the partnerships.
They
That's
are definitely
amazing.
the rock. They are the rock underneath us.
Yeah. Well, and it just shows you how much people really do value veterans, right?
Oh, yes.
And I always say, I even talk about like my grandfather's, he did World War II, but still, I feel like one of the greatest generations to ever live was his generation of this. I mean, they put their boots on, they got dirty when they needed the call. They took the call and they went and they served. And I even have been thinking about it a lot lately because my daughter's doing their veterans program at school. And so she's coming home and she's learning. Yes, she's learning all the songs, the Navy song and the Air Force song and the Marine song. We argue about what the words say, and I'm like, no, it's off we go into the wild blue yonder. Like, come on, it's not this word. But re-listening to all the words of each of these songs for each of the different military groups, it's so powerful because you're like, yeah, that's what they're doing. They're answering the call. They're protecting our freedom. So to me, like, I love to see that people are really showing these veterans how honored we are that they've served our country. So that's one thing that I think is so powerful is that people really do love our veterans, and it's showing, I feel like, for sure.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about healing through Patriots Hall. Now, y'all want to be a place for these veterans to come to in all facets of their life. But let's talk about how do you guys create that connection and healing for the veterans outside of, mental health stuff and whatnot, but just from an organization standpoint.
Yeah, healing is different. I think the first thing is healing means different things to different people. I think the common denominator that I've experienced so far from just interacting with so many people and observing is it's that being able to walk in somewhere and know that you belong and you're welcome and we can meet you where you are. Right. So I think that's really part of the journey. Is, hey, I may be just coming out. I'm transitioning out of the military. I don't know what I want to do next. I'm a little lost. And just having them come in, introducing them to other folks, having them come on Tuesday mornings. If we see someone at a social event and they're by themselves, we're always trying to make those connections with others. And the connection starts the healing, right? And then slowly, like, healing for people means different things for different people. So I'll bring up a good example. We have our garden, our community garden, was a veteran who was transitioning out on paper looked really successful, working at Amazon, doing great, but it wasn't his passion. He hadn't found his thing, and he started to get into regenerative agriculture and just kind of learning more about it. His wife was doing it for fun, and he's like, this is really interesting. Fast forward, they want to start their own business, and they're really interested. And so they kindly, shout out to Christian and Amanda Ramirez, they helped us design and build our garden.
Oh, wow.
And for them, it was awesome because it allowed them to showcase what they could do as a business. And for us, it was amazing because they came in and helped design it. And then we had a whole crew of veterans that helped us build it. And I literally have stories of friendships that were made just working in that garden to build it. And they're friendships that have lasted. Like those same people, they've become really close friends.
Yeah.
Just helping get together and building something. And that's just one example of so many. I could go on and on.
Right.
But I think that's really where the healing starts. Is to know that you found somebody who's gone through similar experiences and you can get out of your head and do something together to help others.
That's so cool. Yeah. Well, you've talked about all the like incredible progress y'all have made and all the great partnerships, but there's had to have been some challenges.
Yeah.
So tell me a little bit about what y'all faced and how you've overcome it.
I think the biggest challenge is we can't do everything.
Yep. We can't?
We
Are
can't.
you sure? I think
know.
we can. No,
we jokingly call this the idea fairy.
Yeah.
There's so many ideas. There's so many things that we can do. And I think this is, again, where I have an amazing board and myself and my experience is, okay, year one, let's decide where we need to focus. We will get feedback and iterate throughout the year, and we may revisit goals and reset them as a result. But really trying to stay grounded and say, okay, this is what we're going to do this year. And then we're about to have a board retreat next week to talk about what goes into next year.
That's important.
And a big piece of that went into that is getting, again, feedback from our veterans, but also, just doing a retrospective of what we've learned so far and putting that knowledge into what do we do next.
Right. Well,
but it is definitely our biggest challenge.
I'm sure it is.
Because you want to make everyone happy.
I know, and that's just not possible. But what is your long-term vision, though? Like, what is, like, your end goal? I mean, everything's changing, but your long-term vision, what you really want to see Patriots Hall rise to.
So our long-term vision is that, and we're already seeing people suggest this, and we're like, well, that's in our plan, so that's good.
Yeah.
Is to really take what we're doing here and turn it into a blueprint.
Replicate it in other places.
Other communities can take. And obviously you need to listen to what the local community needs are and tweak. But there's assets and things that we can create to make getting started and getting up and running a lot easier than trying to reinvent the wheel. And so our hope, and we've already had discussions with some groups in Houston. There's another group in Indiana that have come down to start learning, like, what do we do and how do we make this possible in other areas? So the conversations are naturally happening, and the great part is that's part of our vision.
Right. That's amazing. It's always cool to see that align with what people want. Yeah. Everyone loves validation and everything they do.
Yeah.
I mean, coming from the startup world, I'm sure you learned so much in leadership, and you probably have learned an incredible amount. But what maybe leadership or organizational lessons have you learned in the nonprofit journey that you're on that maybe surprised you?
Yeah, I would say, and again, one of the exciting things about working with Dan and Lisa Graham, if anyone's familiar with Philanthropitch and what they did with that organization, was amazing. But where we all aligned is that nonprofits can run like a business, and it's okay as long as you've got that mission that's always number one. But applying those business practices and running it like a business is so important. And I think I mentioned this before, is also just don't reinvent the wheel. There's so many people, your heartstrings get tugged. You see something that you want to, I want to solve this problem. 9 times out of 10, somebody else is doing it. So before you want to run and start doing something or creating a whole nonprofit, which is a lot of work, see what else is out there first and try to come up with partnerships and collaborations.
Yeah.
Because I think that in the social sector is what's really going to help us going forward as more and more government dollars get taken out of the system. It's up to us as nonprofit leaders to be running these things like a business so that, you know, we're able to kind of carry that weight in times where the government cannot come in and provide those funds.
Right. For sure. No, I mean, that's actually really important, because I do think it's what works smarter, not harder, right? In that sense of, like you said, using your strategic partnerships to help you get to the end goal or of that year, whatever you need for your vision. But so what would you say to other veteran, you know, organizations or communities who, you know, want to build a similar support system? What advice do you have for them?
I think I mentioned before, it's like a broken record, but just listen to what the needs are.
Yeah.
And keep it simple. Like start small and slowly grow it.
Yeah.
You can't just, you know, do everything at once. Because in nonprofits, you know, usually, and again, the way we started is the board was running it. We didn't have any employees. And so just really making sure you can start small and just really listen. I know Catherine Chandler, our founder, Mary Jane Hetrick, our co-founder, they spent so much time listening.
Right.
And going on listening tours, and that paid off in spades with helping us be more focused.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that's a great advice for any business, any relationship, anything you do in life. I mean, listen. Listen to your employees, listen to your spouse, listen to your kids. I mean, listen to your boss. So it really is kind of a key
it's hard
foundation.
because we have so many of these things. I know my phone's over there.
Yeah.
We have so much that we just go online and assume that that's what it is, but really going out and talking to people and getting that feedback is critical.
Yeah. Well, I think Patriots Hall, what an incredible thing that you guys are creating and evolving, and what's transpiring there is just amazing. And I think it's a blessing for all of these veterans to have this community. I'd love to see one a little bit, you know, the way you guys have done it out in Dripping, a little more central for people.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think you've done a great job. So it's been awesome to listen about Patriots Hall. If anybody out there is listening and wants to go and learn more information, what's the website?
Go to the website, patriotshall.org. We just revamped the whole site.
Awesome.
Check out our calendar.
Yeah.
If you aren't in Dripping Springs, the doors are always open. We have so many things going on during the weekends. So come on out, check everything out. And I do want to reiterate, anyone who is veteran or active military or their families can join us as members for free.
Yeah.
And what we raise money for is to make sure that we can offer all of this for free.
For free.
And there's no cost at all
That's
to any
amazing.
veteran that walks in the door. And if there's any veterans or active military that are interested, we're doing a Veterans Day dinner November 11th. Just go on the website, register. It's going to be a really special event to honor our veterans.
I love that.
And like come out, volunteer, learn more about us. There's so much going on.
Yeah. That's amazing.
I mean, we've already had, I think since January, we've had over 3,500 people walk in the door.
Wow.
So, and we have over 700 members. So we're growing, and the doors, as we always say, the doors are always open.
I love that. Well, Sharon, thank you for sitting down and giving us a little piece of why Patriots Hall is so special. And that's all we got. Thanks for listening, everyone.